I'm John Eros and welcome to a new episode of my return to MaximumMC. Because in the last episode I took a break from building at my new base, and it's a really big project. I think I should head over to my new base right away, because it needs a lot of work and I haven't done anything to it in a couple of days by now. So I have to head to the location and I'll see you there. So I'm at the location of my new base. So I guess I have to remove the water sweeper and build it up again for making the new lanes and remove way more water. Except I don't really feel like doing that, because it's not only taking the machine to move, that's not taking that long, but it's taking a lot of gravel placements all along the sides, and I gotta be honest, I don't feel like doing it. So let's do something fun instead. Let's make some map art. So after making a black map and 4 maps with stars, I really should get going with this project. And yeah, I still don't want to. Let's make some more map art. Yeah! So after the awesome Baby Yoda map, I guess I have to quit stalling and... You know what? Let's go to Maxiland and make ourselves a new minigame! Yeah! Okay, so, well, after a lot of writing, I'm back. I've not only done writing for all the books, like all the chance books that are in the game. You want a crossword puzzle, that's a correct one. Discard pile are the hoppers, by the way. I don't have pressure plates on here. Because mobs can just walk over them and then my books are all gone. But when the game goes, then the pressure plates are placed. Road trip. But for now I will remove the pressure plates again. Same is for the pressure plates at the dice. Also 2 times, then it shoots 2 dice. I know it's not real dice, but this way it looks way better. So this is a 9 I throw here. In the middle I have the bank with all the player deeds or the location deeds, and they're all correct. So the name, the price of the card, the value when you mortgage it, the rent when you own all of the cards of the same color and with houses, all correct and all lined up. I've got here the houses and the hotels. Here I've got all the money. I know it's more than normal is in the bank, but yeah, it's just for the bank, so it doesn't matter. These are the player chests. I have original player piece in it, a game piece as a player hat, so you can wear it. But the best way, I think, to keep track of where the player is, because you're gonna move to get to the dice. I think it's best just every player has a boat, and if you throw 3, then you just move 3 spaces ahead, and you can also see on the side what's the name of the card and how much it costs. It is all correct, and the player can buy it from the bank. And if necessary, all players can keep their cash and their deeds in here, so they don't get lost. But yeah, for now, when the game is need to be played, people need to contact me because they need to be able to have the container trust, so they can enter their player chest. So yeah, that's Monopoly for now, and yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get it play tested sometimes. But yeah, the game is finished. We can play Monopoly soon. So I'm back after some play testing. As you can see, I've made a barrier. It turned out a little bit higher than I thought it would, because I made pixel art and I made that all around. So we have a safe barrier around the place that we can play the game safe. Bruno also made an addition to change the player chests. They were here, but now they're cleaned up, and each player has an own side, still with a type of wood, with an organized way of keeping all the cards, and the barrel here for the money. But now it's way more organized, and other players also can see what the cards are at what player. In the middle, the bank also has the color systems with the books named, so that's a lot better. The dice I've changed with a trap chest, so every time you open the chest, it drops a dice. So you need to open the chest twice for a dice. But this way it can't be set off by mobs or anything that walks in, or if you accidentally walk over it yourself. So you open it and a book pops in. Yeah, that's are the changes that happened. And of course, the giant pixel art. This one and this one are from internet, and this one are made from yeah, I did them myself using a picture, so it took me some time. But yeah, I think this is Monopoly finished, and the changes are way better. So yeah, this is the final version as it's gonna be. So we're done here, and let's do something else. So I've been messing around in creative mode a bit with a concrete maker powered by a wither. But there's a small problem with that, because the wither only breaks blocks if it gets suffocated on his head. So if it's only placed against their feet, the block won't break anymore like it used to. It only breaks if the wither is fully suffocating, so that means 3 blocks on his head. And only then it breaks the blocks, so it takes a while, of course, for every drop. So I don't think this method will be really fast enough to make a wither powered concrete maker. So I'm gonna go with this one, and this is a really basic concrete maker. You just mine it yourself, and every block mined, the machine drops a new concrete powder in your inventory. So this is a low tech farm, but it's actually faster than the wither powered farm. So I'm just gonna continue making my concrete this way. And while making the concrete, I found the world's most polite creeper. He stared at me for more than 3 minutes. Until I was done, or at least done. I accidentally shifted my mouse, so I broke the observer. But the creeper stared at me for a long time before I finally came into his field of view, I guess. He's staring at me down, so he must see me. But at this point he just came up and he waited until I was done. So very polite, and he waited until he had a better moment to kill me. But because the wither design block breaker isn't working very well, and I wanted to use that for a tree farm too, I'm gonna use a different design for a tree farm, and I'm gonna use a Nembomb design TNT tree farm. So I'm gonna build that, and I'll see you after I finish that. So the farm is done, so let's see if it's all timed correct. Because it's built from a schematic, so yeah, I hope I did it right. The first one seems to go really good. It leaves a couple of leaves, but I think on his version it does that too. Yeah, the second one goes to the same spot. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works. It's timed correctly and I built it correct. So now all the logs here should go to the item elevator or to the log elevator. So that's gonna push out always 4 of the logs. Yep, that seems to work, except for the first couple, because that wasn't loaded in yet, and the first one was a low tree. So then it's getting split off to the sides of the obsidian drop box, the explosion box, and that works all correct too. Everything works, that's really amazing. Everything is timed correct, so now when it reaches the observer, it should go all to the middle. Yep, that works too. So every time a row gets completed, it pushes to the front. And it can take a while before it reaches, of course. But this way it's optimal for TNT use, because I'm not duping the TNT, it's just with a dispenser. And yeah, it works great, and it should drop at least 2 stacks per TNT drop, so that should be good enough that it is worth it for TNT. So yeah, the Nembomb design farm still works in 1.16, and it works really good. So after a while of AFK farming, I already have more wood than I could ever need. So yeah, this farm works really good. I need to make a better output system, but I will do that later. But for later projects I now have plenty of woods, and it works for every type except for dark oak, because it doesn't have a small sapling. I've also been collecting up some concrete. All these boxes are full of white concrete, so for later projects I will be good for that. I still have plenty of terracotta left over, so for later map arts or something I still have enough. And I have a huge shulker monster here in my storage room. But I will have to yeah, clean that up later. Every time I build something, I have some leftover stuff and it gets ended up here. But yeah, for now, this is it. I know this episode took a long time to make, but it had a lot of yeah, a lot of small projects in it. So yeah, it took a while to make this episode. But I hope you liked it, and I hope I see you next time. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.